Alright, well, I haven't done, well, really nothing. But what I did do was I went out and found all this stuff. And a lot of this stuff is just, what did we find? I found sanding blocks. These are like a foam sponge with sanding outside. So I thought those might be useful. I used these emery boards, quite useful. Used those quite a bit when I was sanding the Enterprise C. So I saw these and picked them up. Again, this is more dollar store bounty. As a paint scraper, I don't really know the purpose or use that I might use for models, but I might use it. Or it just might be for, scraping paint. But it might have an application for models. You never know. But probably more for scraping paint. Moving on, found some more LED button lights. These are $1. They're alright. They have in them, they're sort of useful because for one, there's LEDs that you can rob out of them. For another, there's a housing for batteries, so I mean you could use this to mount maybe inside of a base, and then wire in your LEDs. Maybe there's some opportunities there for robbing some parts out of there. I'm starting to start like a little bit of a electronics bin of just random electronics that I might find, that I might be able to scrap out and use for parts. Like in this, I might use the, like I was saying, the housings for the batteries, depending on how many LEDs I might run. I mean, this is running 3 here, so if I do something small, I can use this. It takes AAA batteries, 1.5 volts each, so it's 4.5 volts, and and the housing, might be useful. The switch assembly might be useful, although it's kind of crappy. In fact, I think I just broke it. But I can rob the LEDs out of it, And that, I found I got some other like small circuitry here. There's a button switch. Can rob that switch out of there. The LEDs. I had these. These are magnetic switches, and these have a few LEDs in them. Plus a small battery housing that you could maybe rob out of there. Another LED small circuit. I'm just gonna kind of put together a box of just LEDs and things of that nature, and see if I can get sort of a bounty there of electronics. You might see here in the background that I kind of set up on my bench. I have a small power supply here. I had this, and I thought maybe that I'd set it up because I'd use it in building and setting up circuits and stuff like that if I get into it. Right now I'm not, but this gives me DC voltage up to about, it's not plugged in right at the moment, about 30 volts and 500 milliamps, and that's adjustable, and it has an limiter in it, and these banana clips are the outputs. So this, you know, I can set up my circuit and kind of try it out on the bench with that power supply before I even you know, wire it in, or just test LEDs or anything at all that I can do, you know, up to 500 milliamps. I also set up my soldering iron over here just because I had it behind me and I thought I'd throw it on the bench over here. It might get in my way there, I'm not sure, but for right now it's not in my way. I also found this stuff at the dollar store, and I thought this was pretty cool. This is reindeer moss. I mean, you go buy this stuff in the hobby shop, and I mean, this stuff can be expensive. I mean, and this is, you know, vegetation, and this was $1. So it's a lot there. I'll put that aside. It has these little guys that you might be able to cut up and use as also vegetation in a diorama situation. This is a moss roll. You know, it's all for flowers really, but you know, I think I could pick away at this and glue it down in any kind of fashion or way that I like. So I bought some of it, thought maybe, yeah, this might be useful, and I think it will be, depending on how I use it or what I use it on. I'm obviously not going to use it with my Enterprise C, unless I have it crash into a swamp, which I'm not going to do. So, moving on from there, I wouldn't really call this a product review, but I was out and about, and I've had this sitting up here. I did some cleaning and rearranging for a little bit, and it's a hobby knife kit, but it's not the higher end hobby knife kits that you see, because the higher end ones are expensive, and this one was cheap. I bought this at Sears, namely, and it's pretty identical to the other hobby knife. It's not really the craftsmanship, as you can see right there. It's already doing something weird. It's not exactly the craftsmanship of an expensive hobby knife, but the principle and idea is the same, and for the price, it kind of beats out the pricier ones. So it's kind of the same kit, and it comes with all these blades. It comes with 3 of these tools, X-Acto kind of styled tools. Good for scribing, good for cutting, good for all kinds of things. So, you know, if you're out and about, keep your eye out, and you know, I mean, every time I go out, I look for hobby supplies, anything at all I can find or use in a hobby situation. I also picked up a different version of an X-Acto kit. I bought this one at Walmart. I think this one was somewhere in the range of $4, and this one was somewhere in the range of $7 or $8. This one comes with 2 X-Acto style tools, the blades. It also comes with a small screwdriver and a pair of tweezers, and the case. So, but again, the quality really isn't there, but which, you know, I have an actual X-Acto knife, you know, and of course, who can live without it? But you know, there's something to be said for this stuff that's cheap, you know, and I'll use it, you know. I'd say look around and you'll see these. I see them popping up more and more lately. I never used to see them at Walmart for sale, and now they sell this. And I never used to see them at Sears for sale, and I got to see this, now I see this. I've also seen small sets of files that can be useful. I thought I'd talk about those a little bit because I had them up there and I hadn't talked about them. I guess another thing I could talk about in my hobby room is anytime you go out, you know, and you see paintbrushes, they can often be useful. You know, you see a lot of them in places. These were $2, and you can see this is very much an assortment and variety of paintbrushes. So, you know, there's lots of times those can be useful. I have other paintbrushes. Clamps I found. Small clamps are always useful. Things of that nature. You know, so any small screwdrivers possibly might be useful. I know there's not a lot of screws in models, but taking apart the electronics that you might be rating for LEDs and such, you know, you might need that for tools. So that's about it for right now. I wouldn't call it a product review, but it's a little review of some stuff I've had in the model room, and I'm gonna jump on some work here on the Enterprise C and probably do up another video, and on the Tomcat as well. But since I was out and about, I thought I'd show you that stuff. Hope you enjoy it, and keep in mind anytime you're out, look for hobby supplies, because they're out there. So check back, we'll have some progress.